Good morning, students. We welcome you all for this grand mega cultural event of Reflections 2021. Moving ahead with the main subject of our preliminary round today.
Standing upon the pillars of Athens, we have once bred Aristotle revolutionized humanity by his doctrine of academia.
However, I believe that autodidacts will feed the norms of the real world a new generation of independent students that have the passion to educate themselves rather than just depending on their teachers.
To get a job in any medical or engineering field, you need a degree, something which an autodidact won't be able to get. An autodidact can only go to the extent of his online resources, thus having no exposure to practical knowledge.
Education is the light that fights darkness. Autodidactism does not make one more clever. It does not make one more intelligent. Having free resources does not mean having reliable resources.
Let us unfurl today's event with the praise of the most merciful and the most benevolent. Over to my very competent and confident student compares for the introduction of all cultural events of the day.
Prayer gives us the chance to express our gratitude for everything the Almighty provides. Prayer allows every individual to rejuvenate their mind and soul. Ladies and gentlemen, let's strike the chord in heavens and seek the blessings by praying together.
I testify at this moment to my powerlessness and to thy might, to my poverty and to thy will.
Ladies and gentlemen, we present before you the World Parliament.
We open the House for the discussion on the first topic of today's agenda, enlightenment of society to tribulations of history. The member nations are requested to raise their placards. Member nation Syria, you are recognized.
Thank you, Sir Chairperson. The Syrian civil war has decimated the country for 10 years now, provoking regional humanitarian crisis. The extensive damage inflicted on the environment is emerging as another devastating, if less visible, tragedy of its civil war.
In August 1961, East Germany started building the Berlin Wall. The country was divided by political and ideological differences. On November 2, 1989, when the gate of the Berlin Wall was opened, more than 2 million people from the East and West gathered to participate in a celebration that was, as a journalist wrote, the greatest street party in the history of the world.
During the apartheid in South Africa, laws forbade social contact between races. Authorities segregated public facilities and denied non-white participation in the national government. Although the world has changed today, laws on slavery and apartheid have been abolished, racism has still not come to an end in our behavior.
I wish to invite our leader, respected Dr. Mrs. Kalpana Tripathi, Principal CMS Mahanagar, who is also the convener of this event, and I request ma'am to welcome and address the audience.
The theme of reflections is the famous quote by George Santayana, an eminent philosophy professor at Harvard. Those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. We can see that history needs to be understood. Whenever we have ignored, we have suffered. We can see that in history of US and Europe, wars have ended with confiscatory terms of surrender, which inevitably breeds more wars.
हर मन के अंधेरे में एक दीप जला देना, हर मन के अंधेरे में एक दीप जला देना।
जब सबकी एक है धरती और सबका एक गगन, फिर काहे को फिरता कोई काम में मगन, कोई काम में मगन। सब धर्मों का सभी जगह हो सुंदर एक भवन, जिसके प्रांगण में हो एकता शांति और अमन। हृदय एक हो सबकी, एक हो सबकी भावना, मिलके करे सब प्रार्थना तब आएगी सद्भावना। मिलके करे सब प्रार्थना तब आएगी सद्भावना।
When I was a kid, my image of a hero was largely inspired by my dad's collection of early Superman comics. A hero was somebody who had supernatural powers like flying, laser vision, or the strength to bend steel.
I represent the world citizen. I want to say that these times of the pandemic fury are difficult, no doubt. To win this battle of the difficult times, we all need to infuse enthusiasm in ourselves and the people around us.
I represent the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau from North America. Even apart, or perhaps because we were apart, our communities became stronger and stronger. Students and teachers learned how to do school online.
Technology is now the heartbeat of an organization. Robots have taken on a new role in the workplace and in medical facilities.
In 2021, we have the opportunity for a global reset, learning lessons from the past and developing frameworks for future policies. Equality and justice need to be the guiding principles behind our collective efforts to tackle the climate crisis, poverty and discrimination.
May unity prevail in all the countries of the world. May unity prevail on earth.
May unity prevail on earth.
Love on our side, we can conquer the world.
As the sun sets, the world starts streaming. Let there be unity on earth. Let there be unity on earth. Let there be unity on earth. Let there be unity on earth.
आज हमारे लिए बड़े हर्ष और सौभाग्य की बात है कि हमारे बीच में उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार के अत्यंत लोकप्रिय, जो सारे प्रदेश में अत्यंत लोकप्रिय हैं, ऐसे माननीय प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर महेंद्र सिंह जी जल शक्ति मंत्री, जल शक्ति और फ्लड कंट्रोल के मिनिस्टर हैं।
पूरी दुनिया तैयार हो रही है, हम लोग सीखते रहते, चलते रहते, बहुत कुछ इतिहास हमको सिखाता है। और फिर इतिहास और नागरिक शास्त्र के दोनों के आधार पर आयोजित इस कार्यक्रम के अवसर पर वहन्ति नद्याः स्वयमेव नाभ्याः स्वयं न खादन्ति फलानि वृक्षा धाराधरो वर्षति नात्मि हेतो परोपकाराय सतां विभूत्या। इस भाव के साथ हम लोग चलेंगे, वसुधैव कुटुम्बकम की भावना को लेकर के आगे बढ़ेंगे और वृत्तिम संरक्षित वृत्तिम आति चा अछीड़ो वृत्तता छीड़ो वृत्तस्तु हतो हता की भावना से आगे बढ़ेंगे, चरित्र का निर्माण करेंगे, युग को साथ लेकर के चलेंगे। परमपिता परमेश्वर ने जो प्रकृति हमको दिया है उस प्रकृति को हम सजोएंगे, उसको आगे बढ़ाएंगे और जल ही जीवन है, उस भाव और भावना के साथ काम को हम करते रहेंगे। इसी भावना के साथ आप सबको बहुत बहुत बधाई।
I'd like very much to thank Honorable Dr. Mahendra Singh ji for his address, which was wide-ranging, erudite in parts and scholarly in other parts, speaking about the relevance of this event, the significance of this event, the importance of understanding history, how it gives a perspective, understanding our antecedents. Mahanagar campus of CMS has been producing in the last 3-4 years really the greatest number of high achievers among, in the city of Lucknow.
I would like to call upon the students of the pre-primary wing to take the form of our entertainers.
Down Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and ran upon the rain. So Wincy, Wincy Spider climbed up the spout again. 5 fat sausages frying in a pan. All of a sudden one went bang.
Now, it's time to make the atmosphere beautiful and fill our hearts with ecstasy. We present before you the young and versatile talent of our shining stars. The school choir, led by students from the junior section.
Doe, a deer, a female deer, rain, a drop of golden sun. Me, a name, I call myself, far, a long, long way to run. Hello world, my old friend, it's another day, I'm glad to see you again, The sun is up, I'm ready to play, hello world.
I am a strong woman. I am a brave woman. Some call me good. Some call me perfect.
सब्र से रब ने तुझको सजाया, धूप धूप जग तू है साया, तेरे रूप में सब कुछ पाया, रह के ज़मीं पर आसमां तूने छुआ है, आसमां तूने छुआ है, तू उड़ाने तो पाँव को अपने जमा दे जहाँ, रास्ता ले आता है मंजिल वहाँ, जहाँ भी तू चाहे बना ले मकान, ये तेरी ज़मीं है तेरा आसमां।
ये हौसला कैसे झुके, ये आरज़ू कैसे रुके, मंजिल मुश्किल तो क्या, धुंधला साहिल तो क्या, तन्हा ये दिल तो क्या।
This is my fight song, take back my life song, prove I'm the right song.
हमसे बेहतर हम, बोलो वंदे मातरम, आत्मनिर्भर हम, बोलो वंदे मातरम।
देश से है प्यार तो हर पल ये कहना चाहिए, मैं रहूं या ना रहूं, भारत ये रहना चाहिए। देश से है प्यार तो हर पल ये कहना चाहिए, मैं रहूं या ना रहूं, भारत ये रहना चाहिए। मैं रहूं या ना रहूं, भारत ये रहना चाहिए। मैं रहूं या ना रहूं, भारत ये रहना चाहिए। मैं रहूं या ना रहूं, भारत ये रहना चाहिए।
By your dear students, peer testimony to the very high standard of your curricular and extracurricular activities.
Now we begin with the first event that's scheduled for today. That's the preliminary round of the quiz which we have as curiosity.
9th Scholastica Senior Campus Uttara Team B, Participant name Jamil Farhan Shakif
Present,
and
miss.
Mashroor Mahatab. 20th, Kerala Samajam Modern School, Jamshedpur. Participants name Anubhav Shaw and D. Adityan. Children, you just have 3 more minutes to go. After 3 more minutes, all those teams who are still struggling in submitting the response sheet, kindly submit your response sheet. We are about to close the entire event.
We at City Montessori School welcome you all to this stirring event of extempore, which is not only very challenging but also lets you think a little out of the box.
I belong to a land which has a vast history. There are innumerable people in history who motivate me a lot. History is my favorite subject, and it is because of my idol, Subhash Chandra Bose. Subhash Chandra Bose is not unknown to any one of us. He is one of the greatest leaders of all times who played a very important role in bringing India her freedom.
When the word invention is heard by you, there's lots of ideas that sparks in our minds. The printing press of the 16th century, the electric light by Thomas Edison. What should be the greatest invention then?
India, in my opinion, is the most amazing country in the world. We have made advances in every single field, be it economics, science, mathematics, or anything else.
Well, success is not final, and failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. And yes, that is the one thing that, according to me, will make anyone successful.
Thank you so much.
Now I think we proceed with the event. So we call upon the first team for the day. The team code is R2 and the participant is Prasiddhi Sachdeva, who is going to play the character of Annie Besant.
A new period of my life began in 1913 when I came to be active in Indian politics. And this gave a lead by claiming the home rule of India. I entered the politics because I saw that India's independence was essential for its age-old wisdom and to become a beacon for the whole world. The home rule movement I recognized spread all over India. The voice of Congress was supposed to be the voice of sedition and the class ambition, instead of being, as it was, the voice of educated Indians, the most truly patriotic and loyal class of the population.
Quality of Annie Besant, according to what has been projected.
I think she was the best at projecting women's rights because she was the first women who projected birth control as it is to control population of the country and to help conserve the natural resources.
We'll have R4 who is going to represent Florence Nightingale.
The world now knows me as a statistician, social reformer and the founder of modern nursing, but there's so much more to me. Let me turn back time and tell you a bit more about myself. I was born on May 12, 1820 in Florence, Italy in an elite affluent family.
Yeah, we will have R3 Yasashvi who is going to speak on Kasturba Gandhi.
I always supported my husband in all his actions, be it leaving the homeland or living in South Africa or taking part in satyagrahas, although my body did not permit me to do so. Yet I am merely referred to as life shadow of Mahatma Gandhi. I never followed anyone slavishly. Neither was I passive nor aggressive, but always stood up for what was convincingly right and just.
I have one question to you, Kasturba Gandhi. In fact, you yourself said that you wanted to be a shadow or you continue to be a shadow. You believed in being just a second fiddle to your husband.
No, I did not say that I wanted to be a life shadow. I always took stand. I even took stand against my husband in that era which was not equitable.
Okay, we will have the next participant who is representing Lakshmi Bai, the Rani of Jhansi.
The British seized this opportunity to annex Jhansi under the doctrine of lapse, but I, Rani Lakshmi Bai, would not part with what is rightfully mine. The English laid siege to Jhansi.
The next person is Napoleon Bonaparte.
It is said, La fortune sourit aux audacieux, that is, fortune favors the bold. And my chance to shine came in the form of a revolution, the French Revolution. I sided against the royalist government, single-handedly putting down a number of uprisings from all around France, including the most challenging one, the British-sponsored counter-revolution in Toulon. My soldiers had already regarded me as one of the greatest military generals of my time. Why? Just because I commanded total loyalty of them and taught them how to use the artillery, an integral part of any army to its maximum potential. Then, of course, there was my speed, quick decisive thinking, and the element of surprise, which ambushed even the most well-prepared of enemies.
All right, all the best. Round 1 is problem of plenty. Question for you. Who is credited with bringing the historical sapling of Bodhi tree to Sri Lanka? 1. Sanghmitra and Mahindra. 2. Kunal and Jalaka. 3. And Charumali and Trivia. And 4. Devi and Padmavat.
1C. Charumati and Tivala.
The answer is wrong. It's Sanghmitra and Mahindra who bought the sapling of Bodhi tree. R14, your question is, the kingdom of Anuradhapur was founded by which of the following?
We go with the option D.
Team R14 is correct. That is the right answer. R8, your question is, the Catholic Church and the Eastern Orthodox Church experienced a break in communion since 11th century owing to ecclesiastical differences. This event is known as
A Crusades.
You are wrong. Team R8 will get no marks. The correct answer is East-West Schism D. The Karachi session of the Congress in 1931 is known for which of the following?
Poon Swaraj.
Poon Swaraj, unfortunately, is not correct. The answer is B, Resolution of Fundamental Rights and National Education Policy.
Our first participant for the day, the team code number R3, Abhishar Sinha.
E-learning can cause social isolation, which coupled with the lack of communication often leads to several mental health issues such as heightened stress, anxiety, and negative thoughts. Autodidacts lack healthy peer relationships.
The question that I wanted to ask is that do you really think that school is the only place where you can form social skills and you can form connections? Is that the only place where you can go and replenish your mental health?
First of all, if you see from the beginning, a child forms a social skill first with his parents, and this next step for him for finding friendships, for finding a companionship is his school.
Greetings everyone. Autodidacticism is the fortifying rigor of trying to teach yourself things, not for anyone's approval or for career advancement, but for the sheer expression of curiosity. And the reason why we are having this debate today is because the concept of it has been romanticized by people.
The most talked about topics is about autodidacts being the near future. But I would like to differ by giving you some points. To get a job in any medical or engineering field, you need a degree, something which an autodidact won't be able to get.
So my question is, like you said about the guidance of a teacher, don't you think that that guidance in future can grab the imagination power of, like there's a lot of restriction when you're working under somebody?
While you're under a guidance of someone, like basically an educator, it is the experience and knowledge, like I mentioned in my speech, the invaluable experience and knowledge which the teacher gives. As for
Guiding You was born in Nagaland, a beautiful state of northeastern India, surrounded by hills and mountains. Known for its cultural diversity and ethnicity, Nagaland remains an unexplored, serene and tranquil retreat for...
Let us explore this beautiful orchard. The view from that tree is exotic. Let the fresh breeze pat our faces.
It is up to us to preserve and promote our culture.
Guiding you, you will be the leader of the Tribal Girls Brigade. Your words must inspire and motivate them to fight for their rights.
Thank you, team R3. I would now like to welcome the next team, R4.
Hypatia was a Hellenistic Neoplatonic philosopher, astronomer, and mathematician.
Oh dear world, what do I see? The birth of a great prodigy, the greatest teacher of all times, the one who will change the way we think.
Oh, and the tail was detached from the body. The body and the tail were separated, but the tail still seemed alive for some time. I have lost you, Mom. I have nothing now. Who will tell me that everything is going to be fine? That I'm strong? How will I learn the ways of the world? What am I going to do without you?
In an environment where wider consciousness of a larger community is overlooked, a segregated individual starts to suffer from malice and loneliness.
The Climate Reality Project, Green Campus Program, enables schools to conserve natural resources and educate people about climate change and sustainability while addressing well-being of the students as compared to conventional educational institutes.
The aim of the project was to encourage students for community service and motivate people through the Cyclothon campaign, cleanliness drive, and the Rahagiri program.
Our search for solutions for the SDG 13 led us to another adverse issue, deforestation. So a tree census was conducted regularly, depicting the population and disease outbreaks amongst the trees, through which the people in the neighborhood were sensitized regarding the decline in the number of trees.
Taking you all through the cleanliness drive, Mission Clean India, held every 6 months by our school, where we clean the surrounding area of our school and ensure the fact that cleanliness is next to godliness.
Our next initiative put forward by the Eco Club of our school is Oro Zindagi. It involves collection of old sweaters for donation during winters.
Moving to the Protsahan enterprise, which creates beautiful and useful products out of waste. Here are some pictures showing the installation of stalls during the festival of Diwali.
In the depicted PPT slide, we can see various pictures of our school receiving awards for conducting exceptional MSR activities. In the first pic, we see Seema Saini ma'am, the CEO of NL Dalmia Educational Society and principal, giving a check of 3 lakh to the Terry Fox Run, held to support and aid cancer patients.
I fondly welcome all the team leaders, participants, children, and parents to the prize distribution ceremony and result declaration ceremony of 4-day virtual fest, Reflections International 2021.
प्रभु जी मोरे अवगुण चित न धरो प्रभु जी मोरे अवगुण चित न धरो समदर्शी है नाम तिहारो चाहो तो पार करो प्रभु जी मोरे अवगुण चित न धरो.
We begin with the first event we had, that is curiosity quiz, the game of mind. Consolation 1 goes to Renuja Randeepa Nana Yakara and Somiro Vinujana Guru Nasakre of Richmond College, Gale, Sri Lanka. Second consolation goes to Aditya Pratap Singh Negi, Pranav Pandey of City Montessori School, Rajajipuram campus. At third place, we have Mannat Behel and Neha Manot of St. Mark's Girls Senior Secondary School, Meerabad. Second place has been bagged by Anubhav Shaw, D. Adityan of Kerala Samaja Modern School, Jamshedpur. And at first place, we have Muhammad Raqib Hassan and Shahjidul Islam Chaudhary from St. Gregory's High School and College, Dhaka, Bangladesh. Congratulations, children. Ad-lib, extempore, children coming up with no prepared material or script. At consolation prize has been won by 3 teams. A week from Navrachna Higher Secondary School, Sama. Adya Shishodia of Little Angels High School gets the second consolation. The third consolation goes to Drupadi Latifa from Scholastica Senior Campus, Uttara, Team B. There's a tie at the third place. Tisya Kalra gets the third place from Bosco Public School. Harkirit Kaur Sokhi gets the third place from BCM Arya Model Senior Secondary School. At second place also we have a tie. Tarush Singh of City Montessori School, Anand Nagar gets the second place. And Tanya Gupta of Maharaja Agrasen Public School also backs the second place. At first place also there is a tie. Samaira Parveen of City Montessori School, Gomti Nagar 1 gets the first place, and Samdisha of Pratap Public School also backs the first place.
I, on behalf of the entire school family of CMS Mahanagar, first of all, extend my most sincere thanks to Lord Almighty for making this event a resound success. I thank our chief guest, Dr. Mahendra Singh, Cabinet Minister, Jal Shakti Flood Control, for inaugurating reflections as he explained the entire theme of history very well.
You know, participation in such an event, it is not just a question of learning more about history, but it's more about having fun while learning about history, and that the bookish learning of history that gives a pretty dry treatment of the subject, how history can come alive when you look at it in a variety of different creative ways. When you integrate the knowledge of history with art, with drama, with quizzes, with enactment, with dance, you know, with a lot of creativity, when you approach the topics, how they come alive and become of abiding interest. I think also, you know, history gives you a sense of where you're coming from, where we as humanity are coming from, where we as a civilization, how civilization has evolved, what have been the foibles and the pitfalls and the weaknesses of particular forms of government or particular forms of particular schools of thought. You know, when we realize these things, we make wiser decisions for ourselves for the future, and in whichever sphere we operate in, you know, in our occupations, or if we are government servants, and so on and so forth. We are bound to have learned from the mistakes that people have made in history, and therefore be wiser and make better decisions.
A deer, a female deer, ray, a drop of golden sun. Me, a name, I call myself, far a long, long way to run. So, I need a pulling thread, love, a lot to follow soon. Tea, a drink with jamming bread, that will bring us back to Joe.
principal for organizing such a wonderful function. And today is the last day, and I am very happy that your children from many parts of India and many countries of the world participated. It is no joke to organize online. I wish you all the best. Thank you very much.